Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our podcast.
Today we're covering the second season of Kid Cosmic from Craig McCraken.
Yes, and in these 8 new episodes, the local heroes go on a galactic journey to find the other stones of power, but this time they have to get them before their new villain, Fantos. Yes, Fantos, not Soda, gets to them first and controls the galaxy.
Yes, you're gonna get some wander over yonder vibes from this.
I'll take Cherry Fantos, please.
No, you didn't. And before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and notification updates on future podcasts and we'll pause videos.
Yes, guys, I know it's Fanta, but it sounds funny.
Don't you want a Fantos? And, the other thing I get right into that first episode takes place right after the first one, where they're put into space and the whole diner and everything is like its own disembodied place in space and delivering food to different people in the galaxy. They should get some really interesting currency now.
Yes.
And Kid meets this alien named Fantos, and he's a parody of, he looks like he's a combination of Thanos, Mojo Jojo, and Hater. He's basically a fanboy villain, and he fanboys over other villains.
Kind of like Syndrome too.
Right. And at first it sounded like that shouldn't work, but when you watch it, it actually does, because it's actually funny, and Kid was getting bored because there was nothing attacking, they weren't fighting anymore and stuff, so he was willing to go with this villain so the others would come get him, and he was just happy when they said, well, can you at least tie me up or something so that way, can you just tie me up or something so at least it looks like I'm in danger so they have a reason to come? He's like, oh, okay. And they just kind of sit and they relax and they wait and they said, yeah, and then when they finally say, he looks kind of, happy for being kidnapped. And it becomes this thing where he wants the stones, which are like infinity stones, and each of them have a certain power. And you find out that there's even more stones with other powers. He wants to collect them all, like Thanos, and rule over the galaxy.
And Ash.
Yeah.
And Kid wants his stone back. He just wants his stone back. He doesn't want the one he has where he turns into slime. He wants his back. And the entire 8 episodes, all he's trying to do is get that freaking stone back.
Which he does eventually.
Yes.
Finally. But
now, these 8 episodes really centered on Joe.
Yes, they did. And some people were okay with that and found it entertaining, but others are kind of like, well, it's called Kid Cosmic. How come it's not about Kid? And we originally thought, I think what they said was originally supposed to be Kid and Joe, because he gave leadership to her and she would learn how to be a leader, which was great. But it shifted so much on her. And we found out that according to Netflix, they kind of gave the writing position to Robin Zeddy, who worked on My Life as a Teenage Robot, and part went to Craig McCraken's wife, Lauren Faust, who worked on My Little Pony. So unfortunately, the show unintentionally ended up being more focused on Joe and girl-centric, because this is what they wrote and this is what they knew. And without Craig McCraken being there because of the events, they were putting more work on other writers. So it was supposed to be about both of them. It ended up being more about Joe. So unfortunately, it affected the story a bit because it wasn't about Kid and Joe. It was just about Joe. It wasn't the original concept.
And then on top of that, they changed her personality like they did in Legend of Korra season 2.
Right.
Seriously, it lines up because, she had this personality where she was a joy to watch and be around, but the beginning of this second season and this 8 parts, she wasn't. She was a know-it-all. I'm the leader, and it was like, well, last season you didn't want to be the leader. You took it reluctantly, and Kid said, really you should be, and the way she behaved, yes. But in this one, she didn't behave like a leader in the beginning. She was actually condescending and arrogant. Yeah. And again, it lined up with Korra. It's kind of like they had gotten inspiration from season 2 of Korra.
Yeah.
Where she had to grow back to being a likable character.
Yeah.
And in the beginning of this 8 parts, she is not likable.
Yeah, that's one of the very few minus parts of it. Because it looks like what they were setting in, which they half did and half did. They were setting up this thing where, be careful who you look up to and take advice from as a leader. You had one that had the advice who was a leader, but the stuff wasn't working. She had her mom that was a capable leader, but she really wasn't realizing it.
And she was really treating her mom really horribly. Again, it was like Korra all over.
Yeah, it was.
And you're like, well, why are you acting this way with your mom? Why are you treating her like
which didn't
she's
make
your
sense.
enemy?
Yeah, and it didn't make sense. Because at first it's like, okay, she slowly learns from her. Again, we think that because it was two different people writing it, they did it a whole nother way than they intended. So in here, it looks like they were trying to say she grows and learns to be, say, hey, the mom's the leader. That's who you should be looking forward to for the advice. That there is it right there. You don't have to look anywhere else. But she's taking for someone who's like her. It was a big message. But it gets a little muddled for the first half of it. The first 4, it almost seems like it's a mixed message.
And I would have been okay with that message. It's just making the mom seem like she was her enemy that didn't work.
Yes, exactly.
Because if you've seen the first season, you know that's not how she acted with her mom. They had a great relationship. And then suddenly, it also was like Gilmore Girls. All of a sudden, she couldn't get along with her mom.
Yeah, it was weird.
And the problem with that is not just that. And I want to explain that. I'm not saying that because of the relationship. What I'm saying is they didn't give you any reason as to how this happened. Now, if something that maybe happened and they went over it with you, like gave you a short flashback or something, like this happened and now Joe feels differently about her mom, then it would have been fine. But they didn't do that.
It was just, this is it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I completely get if people didn't like that part. I completely understand. However, the one good thing I can say about that is that they still were able to put the message out, even though they got a little mixed up. The first half is a little bit of a hit or miss. They're still enjoyable, but it's a hit or miss. But then, they start actually cutting the thing short. When it gets to the other half and it starts getting with Fantos getting the stones, it starts to really get more interesting. She learns the lessons faster. She really starts to realize that she's been wrong this whole time.
And her biggest lesson was, again, she became condescending. I know everything. And at one point she decided, I don't need all of you. This one person can replace all of you. And these stones. And again, it was so unlike the character from season 1. But as Rascal says, she learns that didn't work. She needs a team. A team, not one individual. Not Thanos too. And
the best part is that she actually went to everybody. So look, I give everybody an apology and a stone. I hope we're good now. And she's like, I'm really sorry. That was really wrong of me to do that to you guys. You really are a good team. So I do like that they didn't harbor on it the whole 8 episodes.
I think that was great. What I personally didn't care for is how she had to learn the lesson. Again, she went to the one person and she treated them like garbage. She literally did. Everybody was ready to go and ready to fight and be a team. She didn't even tell them that this was going to happen. She was like, oh, I'm leaving. Bye. Don't need you. And then she takes off, and until that person betrays her, she still had the same mindset. So her lesson was only learned after she was betrayed.
Exactly.
And that was like, no.
And like I said, unfortunately, it's because I think if Craig McCraken was more involved with the writing like intended, I think it would turn out much differently. It would have been the two of them learning to be working together.
But I do want to stress very heavily that this season was enjoyable. It was a great season. These are just things that we found within it we thought could have been better. But for the whole part, you gotta see part 2. It is absolutely a great season with a great ending, and we're looking forward to season 3.
Because as they say, the first half is slightly hit or miss. They're good episodes, but you could tell it's a little different. They even have a whole heist episode, which was actually still good. They get to the second half, and their episodes were so good. Remember the 20 minutes? They were so good.
You didn't even know it was 20 minutes gone.
We would get to a point of, oh my gosh, and then I was like, wait, that's the end? That's the end?
And we were upset.
Like, that can't be it. That can't be it. There's gotta be another one. There was.
Hurry up, next episode.
They got so good when they got to the second half that the episodes were so good they were going just like that. And it didn't feel like you were watching 20 minutes. It looked like they were 10 minutes and you were just watching part 1, part 2, part 3 and stuff.
So if you have not seen Kid Cosmic, you really should. But if you have seen Kid Kismet,
Kismet.
If you have seen Kid Cosmic Tongue Twister season 2, let us know what you think in the comments below. Do you agree with us? Do you have other insights? Let us know. If you haven't seen it, it's exclusive to Netflix. Craig McCraken's done an amazing job, and if you love him for any of his other works, you gotta see the show. And it doesn't get enough fanfare. It is so underrated and unappreciated. It is just one of the best things that come out in 21.
Yes. And well, the thing I point out is that season 3 will be the final one. We don't know if that's Craig's choice or if Netflix said this is all you're getting.
I'm sure it's Netflix.
Yeah. So season 3 will be it, and without spoiling the ending of the season or anything, it looks like they're gonna go the route of MHA, the World Heroes Mission movie, and Miraculous World, where they're gonna go around the world and find heroes.
Okay, there is something we've got to mention. We can't end this way because we forgot to mention that the originil Powerpuff Girls make an appearance in here.
Yes! As the PPG force. I'm like, oh my god!
And we were screaming because it was brilliant and wonderful. And it looks like they're going to be a part of season 3.
Yes.
So, yes, if you haven't seen it, for this alone, you got to watch it.
Because they replaced the Earth Force Enforcement Force.
Which I thought was hilarious. I said it for a while over and over because it's just so hilarious.
And they said, what does that even mean? Earth Force. Yeah, we don't know what that Earth Force Enforcement Force is. What does that even mean? We're not part of that. So yes, that one's gonna be about like finding heroes all over the world, which we're really loving. It's a new concept that's been popular recently, and I can't wait to see how this show's gonna do it.
So give it a watch so that you can be up to date when the 3rd season comes out.
Right. And be sure to like, subscribe, include notification bell if some future podcasts and little pause videos.
And season 3 of Kid Cosmic.
Yes! So, thank you so much for watching. I'm Rascal Entertainment.
And I'm Mama Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.